So set them up the right way with clear understanding of what they're supposed to be doing, clear way to measure success, and some SOPs, or at bare minimum, some videos walking through exactly what you do and how you're doing it and why you're doing it. Hey, what's up? I'm Ray Green, former executive turned nomad entrepreneur. I recently posted to my audience on LinkedIn and said, if you could ask me anything about productizing services, marketing and selling them online, or building a business online, or raising a family abroad, what would it be? I got some awesome questions. So let's dive into those questions and I'll give you my best answer. All right, so a few of these questions revolved around hiring. Specifically, how do I remove myself from the process of the things that are draining my energy? What are you looking for when you're hiring good employees? And around VAs, how do you hire a VA? How do you set them up for success? Good questions. And something that most solopreneurs that are selling services are going to have to tackle at some point, because as I talk about a lot, solopreneurship is a phenomenal way to get started, to start driving revenue, to escape the 9-to-5. But if you're delivering services, that means you are marketing and selling and delivering services, and you are the center of the business. And that is, frankly, the opposite of the 4-hour work week. At some point, you're going to want your lifestyle back. Right? You're going to want to be able to either drive more revenue or get your time back. So how do you do that? One source of leverage is hiring people. Now, here's how I think about hiring. When do you start hiring? Frankly, as soon as you can. Like as soon as you can get to a point that you are paying yourself consistently and you have some money left over to put into the business, I would look for different sources of leverage. Different sources of leverage include automation and delegation. Who do you hire? I usually start with a time audit. Okay, now I'm basically running a time audit on myself almost all the time. I want to know where my time is currently going, and I look at it every 30 days and say, what on this list doesn't absolutely require me? So the actual checklist that I kind of go through is, what can I eliminate? What can I automate? And then what can I delegate? Now, I look at delegation after I look at eliminating and automating, because I don't want to necessarily delegate something with an expense that I can do with a computer or a robot or AI or some other system. I don't want to be delegating something that really should have been killed in the first place. Okay, and I shouldn't be doing at all. Now, with a good time audit, run it for 2 weeks, run it for 30 days, evaluate where is your time currently going, and separate it into 2 buckets. Essentially say, this is the shit that actually 100% requires me. This is the stuff that doesn't. Within this list of stuff that doesn't, what is the role that is going to help me buy back the absolute most time? If I look at that and I see 30, 40, 50% of this is admin related stuff, I'm going to go get an EA or a VA that's going to help take all of that administration off my plate. If I look at it and I say, hey, this is going to sales calls. Like I'm doing 4 or 5 sales calls a week. I'm going to look at hiring a salesperson, a closer perhaps. If I look at it and I say, well, my time's going to prospecting and closing, well, maybe I need to hire a full cycle salesperson. So I look at where is the time currently going, and then where is the best place that I can hire that's going to get me the most time back. And what I do with that time is I'm either going to put it into more high leveraged activity that's going to help me grow the business, or I'm just going to get my time back. Maybe I just want to go to the beach and not build an 8-figure business. But you start with, where's my time going today and where can I buy back the most time? Now, how do you hire? I source globally. Like I look at people all over the world, my bookkeepers in Spain, my tech integrators in Pakistan, my social media coordinator is in the Philippines, right? So I'm looking all over the world. There's different websites that you can go to for different parts of the world, or you can go to Upwork. But the key to hiring good people and keeping them and getting them to perform really well is to treat this like you would any other role, even if it's a VA. Meaning, what's the job description? What is it that you're expecting them to do? How are you going to measure it? Do you have a scoreboard? Do you have some other way of measuring whether they're going to be successful or not? Otherwise, how are you going to know whether they're doing well? How are they going to know whether they're doing well? How are you going to know how to help them improve if you don't know what the baseline is? Okay, so what is it that they're going to do? And then do you have any SOPs? Right? Like say you're hiring somebody to take a bunch of social media stuff off your plate. If you do nothing else, at least do this, bare minimum. Fire up a Loom video, hit record, and talk out loud while you do the job that you're going to want somebody else to do in the future. You've now at least got an SOP. We once hired somebody to do sell by chat or selling from DMs. And the best that I could do, because of the time constraints that I had, was basically fire up a Loom video. And for 5 days in a row, I talked through exactly what I was doing, how I was thinking about it, why I was responding a specific way, any context. So when this person started, they had hours and hours of Loom videos to go through. And that at least gave them a lot of context for what I expected them to do. Now, you can do better. You can build out playbooks. You can build out SOPs. You can build out a good scoreboard, but I recommend setting them up for success. A lot of people hire someone expecting that person to solve the business problem. I don't have a process for social media stuff, so I'm going to hire a VA and I'm going to expect that VA to solve the problem. That's not the way to do this. That's like hiring a salesperson to fix a business with no sales. No. You hire a salesperson to execute the playbook. So set them up the right way with clear understanding of what they're supposed to be doing, clear way to measure success, and some SOPs, or at bare minimum, some videos walking through exactly what you do and how you're doing it and why you're doing it. One other thing I recommend, start with a test project. Okay. So when we hired our social media coordinator, who's now on our team full time, we actually went out, we sourced 5 people. And when we sourced those 5 people, we said, here's what we're going to do. We have 3 videos that we need you to edit. We had like clear instructions, like basically the things, the tasks that I was going to want them to do in the job. I set up examples of that. They all got the same test project. And it said, can you edit these videos? Can you load these posts? Can you do X, Y, and Z? Like, I'm going to pay you for this time, but it's part of the interview process. I was very straightforward, very transparent about what I was doing. Here's a video of me asking for what I need. Here's instructions on how to do it. Here's access to everything that you need. Here's the deadline that I need it by. I got back 5 different test projects that I could evaluate. I looked at and I said, cool. Hired our social media coordinator, who's now, like I said, full-time. Good to go. Really good process for testing people out. Like, have them prove that they can do what they say they can do, but that requires you knowing what they're supposed to do. So just don't expect people to solve all your problems. Give them processes, give them clarity, give them a way to measure whether they're doing well or doing not. Cool.